Welcome to Ital is Vital, your natural health and wellness stop. Disclaimer: the information in this video is for informational purposes only. It is not intended to be a substitute for professional medical advice, diagnosis, or treatment. Always seek the advice of a qualified healthcare provider with any questions you may have regarding a medical condition. Everyone, this is Julie from Ital is Vital. Thank you for stopping by for another video today. If you have not done so already, please subscribe to this channel and don't forget to like, share and comment down below. All interactions help the video and so I do appreciate it. Thank you. So in this video, I'll be focusing on a few herbs that are good for the respiratory system. And the reason I am focusing on some herbs that are good for the respiratory system is because of the effect that the coronavirus has on the respiratory system. And so herbs that will strengthen that system can be very useful if one is to contract the corona, and in addition to that, if one just wants to keep their respiratory system healthy. So we will go through some of these herbs, and like I say, I pick out some herbs usually that I know many people will have access to and they can get easily. So the first on my list is the elderflower, and the elderflower is excellent. Elderflower, that's the same plant that the elderberry comes from. Also, the berry is used, but the elderflower has the property of being a circulatory stimulant. It's also a diaphoretic, which means it helps to encourage sweating during fever. It helps to break the fever. And because it's so good for the circulatory system, it is good for the lungs, of course. And it's a gentle decongestant during the cold and flu. The second is the catnip. Catnip herb is also a decongestant and it is considered a strong antiviral and is very effective for colds, and it can help you to sleep. So people who usually have respiratory conditions and sometimes feel restless and have difficulty sleeping, they may also really like this herb. Another is the stinging nettle. The stinging nettle is one of those great herbs that can be used for so many things, but in this case it is better to use the fresh herb, the fresh leaves, or if it's freeze dry, instead of the dried herbs. The dried herbs can be used, but the fresh leaves are of course more effective, and it is a very good decongestant and also is good for cold and allergies in general. The fourth herb is the Mullein herb, which is an expectorant. It is very good for intense dry coughing, which is often experienced with people who have the coronavirus, and so it is very good for the lung. It helps with the removal of mucus from the lungs. So that is the Mullein herb. The Mullein herb is also used with another herb called the lobelia, and the mullein is the leaves that are used. The lobelia, the flowers, the leaves, the seeds can be used. The mullein and the lobelia are often used together as an effective remedy for asthma condition. It helps to relax the lungs and also helps to increase the elimination of mucus. And this is why this is an effective herb, because it is considered also a good remedy for pneumonia, which is also one of the symptoms that affect people with the coronavirus. Let's look at another herb. This one is the red clover, and it's usually the blossoms that are used. Among other properties, it's known as a lymphatic herb. The red clover helps to decrease infection and also dries up the respiratory passage. It is also an expectorant, and for people who usually have the coronavirus and have dripping noses and swollen glands, it can be very useful. It is often recommended that it is used in combination with some ginger or some elderflower. Not only is the elderflower great to add to the herbs that you could use, but also the elderberries, because the elderberries are rich in riboflavonoids. The elderberry possess very strong antiviral properties, and this is one of the main reasons why it is so effective for colds and flus. Often it is used to make a syrup. I also want to mention ginger, because ginger is one of those spices that is very good at fighting infections. Ginger is readily available, and this is why it is so good that it is such a good herb for chronic respiratory conditions. People often don't consider ginger because it's a simple herb, but it is very easy to get. And having ginger teas during this period can help to stave off certain condition. It helps to clear the lungs, it helps to increase circulation, and of course it tastes really good. And it can also be added to other herbs, some of the herbs that I have mentioned before, to also help to enhance the effect of some of these herbs. Another herb to consider is the pine needle. The pine needle is a natural expectorant and is often used to expel mucus from the lungs. It is soothing and refreshing, and often people not only drink it but also can breathe in the vapor from the tea. I also have to mention eucalyptus, because the eucalyptus is very effective in terms of clearing the lungs. Often it is added to warm water so that one could put their head over the warm water, usually with a towel over the head, so they can breathe in the vapor from the eucalyptus to help to clear the lungs and expectorate the mucus. I am sure that there are other herbs that I have not mentioned, but just remember that the herbs can be very effective, and many of them are very easy to get, the ones that I have mentioned. Did I mention thyme? I realized that I should have mentioned thyme, because that is also a good herb for the lungs and it helps the respiratory system. It is also a decongestant, and thyme is also very easy to get. For tea, I would say choose fresh thyme. There are others that are very good that I have not mentioned, but they are on the list, so you can check out the list also. And don't forget to like, share, comment, and subscribe. Be the change you'd like to see in this world. Have a fantabulous day today. Ta-ta!